Oompa Loompa Oompa T2, did we just locate the final clue? Taking a zoom back on this weekly chart, we really have to look and identify where some key levels historically over the past 2 years after Bitcoin has been in this $4,000 plus range. What are the ultimate areas? Where has all of the trading, where is all the volume at? It can provide us with a nice clue as to what this move wants to do, as well as this weekly key moving average as well. We are seeing the bounce continue here. We switch to this chart and you notice that we're actually stalling. Where we have found support the last few days is right on the third of this line. Now, if we did break through this, what would that mean? It would not be the first time that it has broken through. However, it would be the first time that this did not completely bounce back in a big explosion. So we have to take a look at that as well. You look on the 4-hour chart and there is some tight consolidation, potentially a pattern forming here that we want to take a look at. Guys, the gap has been filled for now. We're not going to talk too much about the other one in this, as we mentioned in yesterday's video. And what is the rest of the market doing? Will Bitcoin follow along? Will traditional markets continue to have an impact? We have another whole day, over 24 hours until we see how that opens up. So guys, thanks for joining. Let's get into the episode. Wow, no way. I cannot believe you guys made it. Thank you so much for joining me here on a special episode. Yes, that is correct. We will be giving away a ledger on the channel today. And as well, guys, this is the last day. There's only a few more hours to retweet this tweet here. And we'll be giving one away on Twitter as there as well. And we have more of these bad boys to give away in the next week. So all you guys have to do to enter is leave a comment below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave subscribed. Make sure to turn on that bell. Ding the notifications, and let's get into the data. So we have a lot to look at with Bitcoin. The price has not necessarily moved too much over the last 24 hours, but we have to take a zoom out and take a look at where this thing is headed. Now guys, as we mentioned in yesterday's video, the impact of the market in general, the stock market, the traditional finance, obviously we can't discount that because what is going on could have an impact moving forward. However, we do have to be realistic and we do want to look at Bitcoin's charts. So what is Bitcoin showing right now? So it is showing, so obviously this is the weekly candle. You can see that here. This is a pretty substantial weekly drop. And as you can see on this chart, actually right now where it actually bounced right at is this line that we've had on here. This is our key market structure purple line that we have on here. Now, this line has been broken numerous times actually just in the past year or so. Okay, so we go back to the bounce that we had coming out of that huge drop in 2018, the beginning of 2019 as well. Okay, you see it actually fell below this, went all the way down to the 200-week moving average down here, and as well bounced right here. You can see for weeks it rode on this line, just wicking down and eventually just bouncing straight up out of that. Actually, you know, when it did get that really strong bounce, was this ascending triangle, but also right as it broke this 21-week moving average, this purple line here. Now currently we're actually sitting right on top of this 21-week purple moving average, and as well we're sitting right on this line right here. There's some other things that we need to look at on some other charts that show what exactly is going on, but definitely the key takeaway here is that a bounce on this purple line, a bounce on this 21-week moving average is what we're seeing so far. Now, with that being said, I want to transition to this weekly chart as well. So this is another weekly chart, but this is a little bit more important, I would say, right now. Okay, so we talked about this in yesterday's video, this at least 5-year trend line, this blue one. Okay, and we talked about that as like the worst pullback scenario, the lowest that we could go. But now I want to take a look at this. So this is the very top of the bull run of 2017 going into 2018. Okay, right here when Bitcoin hit around 20K. On some exchanges actually did get slightly above 20K. That's it right here. So the volume profile for this entire period, which is roughly 2.5 years, a little less than 2.5 years, you can see where the volume really stands out. Okay, so right here you can see that giant amount of volume stands out right at these levels where we had that massive bounce back in the summer of 2019. Okay, and as well, the next highest on this chart on these price levels of the last 2.5 almost years is this zone right here, which is where it held on this descending triangle for basically 12 entire months before plummeting down to that 3K level. And then as well, it's very similar right where we actually wicked down just a few months ago before breaking up into that nice reversal pattern, that inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. So these two levels have been absolute key mega bounce areas, okay? One for this right here. Okay, that's where the lowest we went after the bull run so far, about that 3K. We cannot ever revisit that again, or the entire market structure would be absolutely destroyed. I don't think we'll ever visit $3,000 again. That's my opinion there. And then the second one here, we have actually that correlates to the bottom of this 12-month descending triangle, as well as the last time we got this big bounce, okay? So those are two huge key levels. And we have bounced on each of those levels. Now, will we get a bounce soon, and what level could that possibly be? So looking at this chart zoomed out, you actually see we're actually coming very much onto the third biggest zone right here, and that's actually around that $8,200 level. Now, as you can see on some of these charts, we did come down to about the 84. We actually haven't come down to 8,200 at all. So if over the next few days, if that is an area that we test, we're actually seeing a lot of consolidating right now where we currently are. You see this picture right here. We've been here for multiple days, actually going all the way back to the 25th, 26th, trading in this very tight range, about 85 to 88. So about a $300 range of the last 3 or 4 days. It's consolidating right here. So a lot of people are wondering, what is the next move? After such a big drop, it is normal to expect a bounce. We haven't gotten one yet, and I'm not so sure that we've necessarily hit the area where we should get a bounce yet. And again, that doesn't really matter. The bigger question is, when are we going to be trading in a new giant price range? So this 8K level, we've been trading in for quite a bit now. We've been on an uptrend since the beginning of 2020. Is this going to continue an uptrend? Or have we completely switched into a much different trend? So if we would completely switch into a much different trend, that's something we have to really watch out for, because the prices below us are absolutely critical, and we couldn't really go more than a little over $1,000 down from where we currently are right now. Overall, this chart is very much so bottomed out. Okay, what I mean by that is we have so much more upside that we haven't attained yet in terms of our previous highs, and we don't have very much more downside according to a lot of this structure that we could really go. So for the most part, this market has to be very close to moving forward, and it has to be moving up in price. Otherwise, again, market structure is completely destroyed. As we talked about yesterday, this is such a key bounce possibility right here. This red line of this ascending line here, again, this goes back 5 years. So it is absolutely crucial that if we continue to pull back, this has to be a mega bounce zone right there. Again, if we did go down there, that potential gap, it's only like a $20 gap, could as well be filled if we did come down to this level. But right now, we're actually holding on this 21-week moving average. You can see that right here. That's where we've seen a bounce here. And if we switch to the daily chart, actually something interesting you can see as well. On the daily chart here, you can see there's huge volume for this pattern for over about actually the past year. So this is the last year of volume. Right here is absolutely critical. It's huge. And it's actually exactly right at that $8,200 level right here, guys. Okay, and it's not quite even down into this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we broke out of. It's actually right above it as we were first breaking out of it. So that's absolutely crucial. And as well, this was support here in the summer, back actually in the fall, summer of 2019. This is the highest volume here on this yearly chart time frame on this daily pattern here. You can see it here. So if we did get a continued pullback, again, you see a lot of volume actually right here as well. And I think that's one of the reasons we're spending some significant time here. If we did get a pullback here, this would be absolutely key to also getting a bounce. And that's not quite down to this level. So if we would continue to see a pullback, it's not even necessarily the case that we would ever have to even come down to this level here. In fact, we only wicked down to it as a part of this inverse head and shoulders, and we spent such little time here. We spent literally hours wicking off of this. So if we would come down to here, again, I don't necessarily think we have to at all. We could even get a bounce right here, okay? We have to watch out for that. There's so much volume here. 82 is key for a lot of other reasons. It's been past horizontal support and resistance many times, specifically back in 2019, and then specifically back at the very end of 2019 going into 2020 as we broke out of this pattern. So this $8,200 level, again, continues to be insane critical support. We have to look out for that. And as well, guys, that 8,200 perfectly plays into the pullback, the max pullback for this potential cup and handle here that we've been talking about for weeks. Okay, we've had this box drawn on for weeks. You guys know what the 8,200 represents and what that means for the market. Okay, as we take a look on this, this is absolutely key. This is the first time that we're touching back on this 50-week moving average ever since breaking out of this inverse head and shoulders. So that's going to be key there. Currently, you see us sitting there. As the stock market develops, again, we can't ignore the influence that might have. If it is the beginning of some sort of big move, there are going to be bounces anyway. And so we're going to get some indicators over the next few weeks and months before we 100% see that anyway. I do expect it to continue pulling back down. Barring any very potential positive news this weekend, I do expect stocks to continue to take a hit this coming week. But as for Bitcoin, we really have to watch and take a look at these charts. There's so much at these levels. And again, guys, Bitcoin is actually looking the best out of so many different investment opportunities right now. All right, so out of the last 18 videos, let's do a roll and pick a random video here. Okay, let's do 18. All right, and then generate out of the 18. Looks like video number 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so we'll copy this video here. All right, so we will paste the video here. Get YouTube comments. 165. Here we go. Derek says, what is going on, my little munchers? Derek, make sure to shoot me a DM on Twitter. Make sure to contact me, and we can get you that ledger, guys. So thanks so much for watching. Remember, make sure to enter. We're doing another giveaway very soon, and we'll see you in the next one.